y'all, it's Roberta here with another car conversation, and today I want to talk about tough conversations that can really make you think about yourself, your behavior, who you are. So one of the things that I encountered this week was a severe aha moment that had me in a space, and at one point I even started crying. It's not a bad crying, it's more of a shit crying. So, context that earlier this week I had to get some work done on my car. I needed to get my oil changed, and I did not have a large window of time to get all this work done. So, I'm a girl who does things that are convenient and fast and easy and just not complicated. So for me, I decided that I would drop my car off and get the oil changed, and told the guy that he could let me know about the tires. I'm pretty sure I needed new tires. No, I knew I needed new tires, at least on the front side. And that I would appreciate a phone call to let me know, what's up. So he calls me a couple hours later and say, yeah, we got the oil change done. We can get you new tires. We need this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. I was like, sure, go ahead and do it. So what started out as a $90 oil change ended up being more than $1,500 for everything when it was all said and done. And I didn't really worry about it because, hey, if I need 2 tires, I guess I need 4. If I need the air cabin filters changed, you tell me I need it, then I'll do it. So anyway, all done in that. So grateful. Was able to put the car in the shop, get my business done for the day, and I was going to go back later on in the day and pick it up. So later on in the day, I'm chatting with my guy, and I let him know, hey, yeah, just talking about the day, and that I had finished paying for the work, and I'd be heading home shortly. So he starts asking me, oh, what did you get done to your car? And I'm thinking, I told him, well, this and this and this and this. And he's like, you got 4 new tires? Like, yeah, sure. He's like, why'd you get 4 tires? Like, because I got 2, so I got 4. He's like, did you need 4? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, well, what were the tire treads? And so then he starts asking more and more questions. And I'm getting more and more defensive. Like, dude, I just did the thing. Can you just, accept that I did this thing? Oh, no. And then he starts asking me about the alignment that I said I did. I was like, yeah, I got an alignment because the car was, pulling a little bit to one side. He's like, well, what kind of alignment did you get? I was like, I don't know. It just says alignment. I never was like, I don't know. I just reading the paper. And then he starts explaining different types of alignment. And he makes this comment that, I really want to know what they did because these tire shops, they scam women. Well, that phrase immediately sat poorly with me, and I'm thinking, I'm not dumb enough to be scammed, and I'm too smart, and I bristled, right? I started getting defensive, and yeah, I immediately started just shutting down. I didn't defend anything, and he's asking questions, and I'll just say, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just reading the paper. I don't know. Because at this point, I also recognize that if I'm not careful, I'm going to lash out. Because I don't want to be, I don't know the answer. And when I don't know the answer, that makes me feel uncomfortable and stupid and whatever. So, we keep going in the conversation. For about 20 minutes, he's sharing, talking, asking questions. And then he realizes that I'm not really saying much, and he asks me or shares with me, because it feels like you're getting defensive as I'm talking to you about this. And I use that moment as an open door, and I said, I'm glad you asked me that, I'm glad you said that, because if I'm being honest, I am being defensive. I feel defensive. I don't like feeling like all these 20 questions sort of thing, and I just feel stupid. And I feel like the way you said it to me and the tone that you mentioned it to me just makes me feel some sort of way. And he looks at me and he said, what tone? I said, I didn't yell at you. I didn't call you stupid. I didn't say anything about you. We're having a conversation. And then he goes on to say, are you telling me that you want me to change what I say to make you feel better? Like to change the tone? Like, I feel like you've completely missed the actual message that I was trying to share with you because you were so focused on this perception of tone. And then as he says that, I'm going, oh shit. I feel like I've heard this before. I think my ex used to tell me the same thing. I'm the person to be like, oh, you're talking to me some sort of way. And somebody's like, I'm not talking to you any sort of way. I am sharing this with you to protect you. I'm sharing this with you so that you have more knowledge and that you don't find yourself in this spot again in the future. And I really started to feel small, because then I realized the problem all along in this particular topic is not someone's tone when they're speaking to me. It's my own ego and not wanting to receive correction or feedback, because my ego says, Roberta, you're too smart to be scammed. You're too smart to make a mistake. But when someone identifies there's a gap or there's a blind spot, and in this case it was a blind spot for me, I didn't want to receive it, and I started bristling at the thought of being corrected or being told that I have a blind spot. And I just started to sink a little bit inside myself. I was not upset with him. He was on point. I was disappointed in myself, and I was having to acknowledge that I'm the one that needs to make the adjustment in how I showed up in this particular way. And that was a hard pill to swallow. Fast forward later in the evening, we were still talking, and I made some sort of comment. I made the comment that I don't like to repeat myself. Like, once I say something, I don't have to repeat myself. And he looks at me and he's like, what? What do you mean you don't like to repeat? Like, what do you mean you don't like to repeat yourself? And I was like, I just don't. He's like, do you know how that comes across? Like, do you know how that could be for someone else, where you tell them that once you say something, you don't want to have to say it again, how that could shut off someone else? Some people actually do need to hear things a couple of times to make sure they understand it. Someone else may hear that and go, oh crap, I can't go back to her and ask for correction or ask for clarification because she might think I'm dumb. And as he starts talking, I realize that that's not the kind of person I want to be. Like, I'm not trying to shut people off. I want you to talk. I want us to have a conversation. And then he said, do you tell your kids that? That you don't want to repeat yourself? Like, what? They may not want to ask you things again. And I paused, and he's like, if you do, you really got to reflect on why you do that and how you could change that. Man, can I tell you, I felt so small. I didn't feel small because he made me feel small. I felt small because I realized I have some messed up mindset and some messed up behavior that I need to adjust, because I need to adjust, because I need to show up better. And I would say to all y'all who are listening to this, ask yourself, what are those mantras or mindsets that you have said to yourself about the way you show up in the world? I only do this. I don't like this. I require this. All those belief systems that you have, One, where do they come from? And then two, when you say them, how does that show up for other people? Like, how do they regard you? Does that make them uncomfortable, fearful, scared, whatever? Because of how you have already put this line in the sand that you're not going to cross, and they better not cross it either. Again, in this conversation, part 2, I was in tears again. And it was really, really hard for me. And it was really uncomfortable for me. And heavy. And also in the midst of all those emotions, I realized that I was so grateful for him. For him to take the time to hold up the mirror and say, hey, Roberta, this is how you show up in the world when you say that. This is how you show up when you get defensive. And it's not cool. And I loved how he was looking out for me. I loved how he was sharing and talking, not because of himself, but because of him wanting the best for me. And can I tell you, I love that, and I love, well, you know what I was going to say. He is really, really good for me. And the way he is as an authentic person, and the way he treats me, and the way he shows up for me, is to make me a better person and to show me so much respect and caring and affection, and I am sincerely grateful for all of that. Leaning into the person who makes you a better person is so worth it. And pausing and receiving feedback and sometimes correction from those people who have your best interests at heart is absolutely worth it. Put down your egos, put down your pride, and truly listen to the content of what is being said, and don't put anything else on it, just listen. He's it's really special to me, and I hope that he knows it. I hope that I do a good job in showing it, because I'm definitely grateful. Tough conversations with someone you're dating are necessary. That's how you could kind of know the measure of a person. And as you progress in those relationships, you should expect to have tough conversations. You should be open to them. So, this is just a reflection that this week I had a tough conversation that made me sit up a little straighter and made me acknowledge, how I showed up in the world and how that can be received by other people when I show up like that. And at the end of the day, I'm so very appreciative for the man who brought that to my attention, and for him caring enough about me to tell me. If you have someone in your life who doesn't lean into tough conversations and they just want to shy away for it, and they're just like, they'll be screwing up and they'll do it on their own, those people aren't for you, and that's just not someone you need to build with. That's not a partner for you. So find you a partner, find you someone who cares about you and have a wonderful two-way relationship with that person so that you become better and they can be their authentic self in that relationship with you. Anything less than authentic is just a waste of everyone's time. It really is. Anyway, guys, that's all for today and my reflections during my car conversations. Take care. Bye.